Have you ever wondered where the idea of community began? Not in a city, not in a tune, but somewhere much, much older. It started with a space, a simple, shared space. Long before we built walls or drew maps, our earliest ancestors were drawn together by a fundamental human need, a need for warmth, for safety, and for each other. This is the story of humanity's first gathering places, and how they turned scattered groups of individuals into the societies that would one day build the world. Imagine the world thousands of years ago. A vast, untamed wilderness. For early humans, survival was a daily struggle against the elements, predators, and the unknown. In this world, being alone was a death sentence. The instinct to gather wasn't just a preference, it was a strategy for survival. The first and most important gathering place was the campfire. It was more than just a source of heat and light. The fire was a beacon in the darkness, a shield against the things that lurked in the night. Around its flickering flames, a profound transformation took place. The group could relax their guard, just for a moment. This shared safety allowed for something new to emerge. Social bonding. Here, food was shared, ensuring everyone had the energy for the next day's hunt or forage. The act of sharing a meal became a powerful ritual, reinforcing trust and mutual obligation. It was in these moments of communal eating that the first threads of a social fabric were woven. The fire wasn't just keeping them warm, it was forging them into a single, cohesive unit. But these spaces were for more than just survival. They were humanity's first stage, our first classroom, and our first council chamber. As the elders sat closer to the fire, they would share stories. These weren't just tales for entertainment. They were oral histories, survival guides, and moral lessons, all rolled into one. A story about a clever hunt taught the young new techniques. A legend about the spirits of the forest taught respect for nature and the unseen world. This was how knowledge was passed down, how culture was transmitted from one generation to the next. Without writing, memory was everything. The shared space of the campfire became a living library. The collective memory of the group was stored in the minds of its members and brought to life through storytelling. It's here that we see the birth of art and performance, gestures, voice modulation, and perhaps even simple musical instruments made from bone or reed would have captivated the audience, making the lessons more memorable. The first artists weren't in studios. They were performing by firelight, shaping the minds of their community. Gathering also meant making decisions together. When was the right time to move to new hunting grounds? How should the group respond to a neighboring clan? These critical choices weren't made by a single leader in isolation. They were debated and discussed in the communal space. Everyone, in their own way, had a voice. Evidence from ancient sites suggests that circular arrangements were common, a layout that naturally promotes a sense of equality. There is no head at the table when the table is a circle of stones around a fire. This process of collective decision-making was messy and slow, but it built consensus. It ensured that the group moved forward as one, with everyone invested in the outcome. This was the dawn of politics, not as a struggle for power, but as a method for communal survival and well-being. The skills of negotiation, persuasion, and compromise were honed in these ancient gatherings. It's a powerful reminder that democracy, in its most basic form, has roots that stretch back into our deepest past. As societies grew more complex, so did the gathering spaces. Look at Gagakli Tepe in modern day. Tepe, built over 11,000 years ago, long before the invention of pottery or agriculture. It stands as the world's oldest known temple. Hunter-gatherers from across the region came together to build these massive, intricately carved stone pillars. Why? The sheer effort involved suggests a powerful, shared purpose. It was a pilgrimage site, a monumental center for ritual and ceremony that united different clans. Gagli Tepe shows us that gathering wasn't just about the immediate needs of a small band. It was about creating a shared identity on a much larger scale, by coming together to build and worship at a central, sacred place. These early people were affirming that they were part of something bigger than themselves. This communal construction project required unprecedented levels of organization and cooperation, laying the groundwork for the complex societies that would eventually build the first cities. Let's move forward in time to the Neolithic era, when farming began to take hold. people started to settle down. Villages emerged, and with them new kinds of communal spaces. In places like Catalioc, one of the world's first proto-cities, houses were packed tightly together with no streets. People entered their homes through ladders from the roof. But archaeologists have found specific buildings that were larger, more ornate, and kept cleaner than the others. These were likely communal shrines or meeting houses. Even in a settled society, the need for a dedicated gathering place remained. These spaces served as the heart of the village. They were where rites of passage were celebrated, births, comings of age, and marriages. They were where communal feasts took place during harvest festivals, reinforcing the bonds that held the agricultural community together. And they were where disputes were settled, maintaining social harmony in the close quarters of village life. The form had changed from an open fire to a dedicated building, but the function was the same: to bring people together. From the Greek Agra, where citizens debated philosophy and politics, to the Roman Forum, the bustling heart of an empire, history shows this pattern repeating. Every culture and every era creates spaces for people to connect. Think of the medieval market square, the village green, Tea-Town Hall, the local coffee shop, or even the digital forums we gather in today. They are all descendants of that first circle of stones around a fire. They fulfill the same deep-seated human need for community and shared experience. These spaces shape us. The architecture and atmosphere of a place influence how we interact within it. A grand cathedral inspires awe and quiet reflection. A bustling market encourages haggling and social exchange. A cozy park bench invites intimate conversation. We build these spaces, but in turn, they build us, reinforcing our cultural values and shaping our social behaviors. So the next time you're in a public square, a park, or even just sharing a meal with friends, take a moment, feel that connection. You're participating in a ritual that is tens of thousands of years old. You are continuing the legacy of our earliest ancestors, who discovered the most powerful tool for survival and progress was not a spear or a stone axe, but the simple, profound act of gathering together. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this journey into the past interesting, please hit the like button and subscribe for more explorations into what makes us human. See you next time.